What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Geek podcast. That's right. This is your favorite geeky podcast. And tonight it is the Ultimate Character Face-Off, second edition. That's right. We're doing it again. Now, there is going to be a little bit of a caveat here, guys. We aren't just going to be doing a big spool of characters. First of all, we are only doing villains. And we tried to keep it down to our top 8. And when we mean top 8 we mean the top 8 heavy hitters. I'm here for Rob GPT. There you go. I mean, listen, we're going to be talking to the AI quite a bit tonight because some of these matchups are going to be a little bit crazy. Guys, again, like I was saying, what we're going to be doing tonight, we're going to keep this to the heavy hitters, the world destroyers, the big guys, and we're only going to let the wheel pick the first matchups.
Do you want to refresh people's memories as to how this works for anybody that didn't tune into the last one?
I will do that after I talk to you guys.
Sure.
Always. My co-host, Akka, Messiah Complex Cosplay. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, it's just fucking grand. How are you?
Wow.
Couldn't be any better. Just living life to the fullest, loving every single second of it. Rob, the bad guy, I keep haranguing Rob to join us more and more often on the podcast because I remember early on he's like, fuck you guys, I'm not coming on. And now he's like, well, come on if you ask me. And now he's like, hey guys, can I be on? So I'm wheedling him down, guys. I'm wheedling him down. What's happening, Rob? What's going on?
Slowly turning into a regular.
Yeah, slowly. I'm not always here, but yeah, when I looked at what tonight's topic was and all the characters, I was like, questioning the choice. But you know what? We're gonna work with the AIs here. Only have version 3.5, but we'll see.
We're already taking jabs here. Taking jabs.
Oh, we're gonna look at 3.5. For those of you that don't know, by the way, Rob doesn't just work in IT. Rob, why don't you tell them as far as the AI goes, how that affects your everyday work life?
Yeah, I dabble in the AI at work.
He sure does. So you're not wrong, Victoria. He is Rob GPT tonight. So in massage now. So yeah, some folks joining us. Stephanie from Red Moon Glassworks saying she's hi gang. I'm popping in and out as I'm working. Wayne Covey saying the three amigos. Well, we're gonna have to figure out who's who. In massage now.
I'd like to think I'm Steve Martin, but you know,
you absolutely. I'd like to be Chevy Chase personally.
Yeah, I mean, but that makes him Martin Short. So yeah, I mean, okay, you know, I'm okay with that. That kind of works. Kind of works for me. There you go.
You know,
I forget the song now, but I'd break it into a song, but I can't remember what it was.
Thank God he forgot the song.
Yeah. I almost just started making something up. Like,
It's an onion. Good evening. It's an onion. How you doing? Yeah, tonight is the UCF. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. I remember the first time they ran the UCF, I wasn't here. So I am not as familiar with the format of this as these guys are. At the very least, JS I think is the only one that's been on for both of them. So
correct.
Yeah,
correct.
You're driving the ship tonight, buddy.
We did split UCF, the original UCF, into 2 shows just because, well, for one, we had 16 characters, or we're going to pick 16 characters, do the round of 16 for the first episode, and then do the quarters, semis, and finals on the second episode, which I think you were on for both, Rob, weren't you?
I was, yes.
There you go. Michael Myers was on for at least one of them, if not both of them as well. So you know, by the way, guys, Michael was supposed to actually be here with us tonight. He's not feeling very well, so you know, drop him a message, wish him a get well soon. Hopefully you feel better, bud. How this is gonna work? Well, it's very simple. For every matchup, we will bring up the wheel of names, and the wheel will pick
a name.
The names of the matchups. Yeah. Now here you can actually see who the matchups. Well, not who the matchups, but who the names are. Trigon, Surtur, the Anti-Monitor, Brainiac, Darkseid, Galactus, Doomsday, and Thanos. Those are our 8 heavy-hitting, world-destroying characters that we picked for UCF2. I think that's what we're going to do more in the future as well. As we do more of these, If we want these to be more entertaining, I think we're going to need to have less fight. And we're going to pick the matchups. We're going to pick the matchups that we think we want to see. And then we discuss around those and argue like, the 14-year-old geeks that we still are. I think before we get started, we got to go through some stuff. We got to talk about some stuff.
Some housekeeping.
First of all, guys, if you're new to this channel, please make sure you click that subscribe button. It really helps us out. It's absolutely free, and it'll make sure you get notified. Well, if you click the little bell anyway, it'll make sure you get notified every time we upload a video or go live. Clicking that like button really helps the algorithm as well. So if you're liking what you're seeing, click the like button. We really, 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 really appreciate it. Now, we have officially released our theme days for Toronto Comic-Con. That's right. We posted that on the Instagrams. We posted that yesterday. Thank you very much, producer Jen, who put the post together. We are going to be doing DC on Friday. Predator. We're doing the Predators, but Villains again on the Saturday. Saturday has kind of become the Villains and Monsters days, I feel like, and we got to keep that going, I think. And then doing Star Wars on Sunday. So that's going to be fun. I think by posting our lineup kind of spoiled the news, which I don't know if it's really news because it's a little bit late, but that's right. We're going to be at Toronto Comic-Con. We have official confirmation. We've got a booth. We're going to be on the main floor, level 300 of the North Building, with the rest of the community booth. So that will be, I think, a lot of like Comic-Con last year. I think if we look at how it was set up and how a lot of the community booths were together, I think they're going to have a similar setup. So as soon as we find out a little bit more about the floor plan, where we're going to be, we'll let you guys know. That typically doesn't come until like a week before the show. So we will let you know. Do you want to talk about what lineups you guys are going to be doing at Comic-Con? Might as well.
Sure. Why don't you start?
Yeah.
Now I'm working really, really hard to get freeze done for the Friday. I really, really want at least the basic. It won't be fully done, but the basic freeze. Hopefully get that done for DC Day. Predator, like I said, on Saturday. And I'm going to be wearing my Revan on Sunday, which might be one of the last times you actually see me in my Revan because I have other Star Wars plans. So,
nice.
That's those in the,
Yeah. I am ditching the bat, and I'm going to be asking people if they want to know how I got these scars. So there's going to be a lot of Joker going on. So the Ledger Joker specifically, I'm not doing the Leto Joker because I don't feel like killing myself in the next month by not eating anything and getting that skinny. So Ledger Joker. And then Saturday is going to be, I'm teaming up with Midlife Cosplay. I don't know if he made the transition over or not, but myself and Mr. Richard Bakari are going to be doing Hellboy and Cronin from the original Hellboy film. I will be Cronin to stick with the villain side of things. And then Sunday, our good friend, she's in the chat right now, Christina. Christina messaged me and she's like, I've always wanted to do Spider-Man. I don't have a spider suit. So how about I lend you my Stormtrooper kit and you lend me a spider suit? I was like, that sounds like a great fucking deal for me. So I am going to be a Stormtrooper on Sunday. But you're definitely going to see. I don't know what day Christina is going to wear. I'm hoping she joins us for Star Wars Day, and then she wears the Spider-Man on a different day. But I mean, it's up to her.
Yeah, I mean that would be fantastic. Yeah,
but I do know there's going to be some folks that are going to be joining us for Star Wars Day on Sunday, so I'll be a TK. I've already heard from a couple of other dudes. They're like, "Oh, we're doing Star Wars on Sunday. Awesome! I'm going to bring this. I'm going to bring that." So very excited for that. Rob, what about you? What's your lineup for TCC?
So my lineup, I'm going to work backwards actually. Sunday, I'm going to be doing Kylo Ren for Star Wars Day. Saturday is always my favorite day, Villains Day. I'm super excited to see what you and Rich are gonna do, Jeff. And then on Friday, I am hoping to pull together something new. I am also ditching the Riddler for DC. I need a break from that one. It's very hot. It's a lot of work. So I'm gonna put on a different mask instead, which isn't that much different. And I'm also gonna do a Joker, which I cleared with Jeff before I came to this conclusion, but I'm going to do the bank robber Joker from Dark Knight. And I'm going to wear my Revan. So I'm going to put on a different mask instead, which isn't that much different. And I'm also going to do a Joker, which I cleared with Jeff before I came to this conclusion, but I'm going to do the bank robber Joker from Dark Knight.
Ah,
So
excellent.
that we're both technically doing the same Joker, just
The
at
same
different points in the
Joker,
movie.
just different scenes
Yeah.
of the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Whatever doesn't kill you only makes you.
that's what I'm gonna try and do. Yeah.
What part of the movie are you doing, Jeff? Are you doing the
It's
nurse Joker?
No, I would love to put together the Nurse Joker. I don't have enough time for that, but no, just the main look, the long purple jacket, the vest, the green vest, the checkered shirt, the tie, like the gloves, the purple pants, like the actual, So the main outfit, when you think of him, like the one that he took all the promo photos in, that one, that's what I've got. The one I've done before. Yeah. So it should be a good time. Yeah, we should be having fun. So we did switch it this year, guys. We've done DC on Sunday every single time we've done DC. Yeah. And I'm like, and no slight to anybody, but we seem to be getting the same people out over and over again. I thought, hey, if we change the day, maybe that will motivate people, some different people to come out. And of course, we still want to see all our regulars come out too.
I was just gonna say, I'm hoping everybody still puts
Please,
their DC costumes and come out on the Friday in their DC costumes instead of on Sunday.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, it should be.
Oh, by the way, if you didn't know, guys, I did find out that Toronto Comic-Con show hours this year have changed.
Really?
And Friday is now a full day. Friday is 10 to 7, like Saturday, which is 10 to 7. And then Sunday is 10 to 5. Yep. So Friday is no longer a half day.
Weren't we commenting about that last year? I thought we were commenting about that last year, that the Friday was. Did they
do that last year as well? I
thought when we were kind of wandering on the Friday and we were talking to some of the vendors when we were doing the live, we were talking about how it was a full day and it was fucking packed and everything else. Maybe I'm misremembering. But
I don't know. Either way,
it
is. Oh, so Christina says it was a full day last year too. Okay, well there you go.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't remember clearly. I do remember us setting up on the Thursday night.
I mean, we were drinking the whole time, so that's that's probably why we don't remember. I didn't say that. I didn't say that out loud at all. Sorry, man.
Come on, there are kids at these events, right?
None of them are in the chat. Who gives a shit? They all know we were drinking the whole time. Half of them were drinking with us, for God's sakes. Christ almighty. Anyways, yes, guys, we are going to be at TCC. It's sad news to report, though. Fellow geek Megan is not going to be joining us. She's moving like the weekend before or something like that. So there's just no way for her to be able to fit that in with everything else.
Or the weekend after? I thought it was the weekend after.
It's right around there anyway. So editor Megan will not be joining us. As far as I know, though, the rest of the crew will be there. Producer Jen, who you don't see here, will obviously be joining us, as well as her sister Jamie. So we got the rest. Oh, and we are also losing Teresa, our photographer, as well. So it's there's some sadness to go along with this. Teresa just needs a break overall from cons. I'm not letting anything out of the bag. She's talked about it publicly. So yes, our fabulous photographer that's so good at organizing the photo shoots and such and getting cosplayers to get where they need to go. She won't be joining us this year for any of the cons. So the
meetups aren't going to be the same without her, that's for sure.
No, they sure are.
But she has a new job and there's a lot of stuff going on, and I can completely appreciate and Teresa did all this with us for free, right? Like she did it to hang out with us. Like, do you know what I mean? So we can't appreciate enough what she did for us over the last couple of years. I mean, it's been amazing.
So the moral of the story, by the way, guys, is very late. We'll still do the photo meetups and we'll still even organize people by groups and stuff, but we're not going to have one central photographer that's going to take a bunch of pictures and then post them online for you guys to get. In a lot of cases, it's going to be take your own shots and that kind of thing, or someone grab phones or whatever it's going to be. So a little bit of a change in the setup, but don't you worry. We're still going to be,
unless somehow we're able to find somebody that's willing to donate their time and and
energy and money
and take some pictures for the group and liver. Well, that's always important. If you're going to be joining us at one of these cons,
right?
Strong liver.
It's going to take a beating.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Anyways, that's the news.
By the way, I just want to make sure everybody knows we won't have a specific set place. We are planning on all going out on the Saturday night after the show. Get some food, get some drinks, have fun, hang out with everybody, So again, we'll let you know what our plans are as we get closer to the day. We probably won't have any reservations anywhere just because everywhere downtown Toronto is asking for friggin' what do they call it? Like a minimum spend.
Right.
And I mean, I'm sorry, as much as I love all you guys, I mean, I can't afford thousands of dollars in minimum spend at the bar.
Yeah, what are we doing?
After the
Bottle
show,
service?
right?
Like we're not fucking like we're not
Yeah,
big
it's
pimping, right? Like
ridiculous how expensive it is. So I think what we'll have to do is we'll have to pick a place, show up at the place, and just take over. Basically, that's what we do, right?
I was fine with the hotel bar last year, but I mean, I get it.
Now the hotel bar is expensive and the food's not very good, and
Yeah, but it's right there. Anyways,
I know it's right there, but
continue.
there's a lot of stuff that's right there, right? We're
Boring.
downtown Toronto. Should we start the first matchup?
Sure.
Should we spin the
Yeah.
wheel?
That is what we are here to do.
All right. So let's see. Who's going to be the first fighter? UCF2. Oh, right off the bat, for fuck's sakes. That's right. The Anti-Monitor. Our first winner. Should we call him a winner? I don't know. Where is he? There we go. Oh, I already have him up here. Hang on. Jeff, why don't you give us a couple facts about the Anti-Monitor, if you will, my friend?
Not to get too much into the weeds, but yes, the Anti-Monitor was from the Antimatter universe. So he appeared in what is arguably the most important comic book crossover to ever exist, which was the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Even if you're not a comic nerd, you may have heard of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Anti-Monitor was the big bad in that particular crossover. The Flash died, Supergirl died, entire universes were killed by the Anti-Monitor. So this is amongst the biggest bads there's ever been in DC Comics. And yeah, he's a bad dude.
Yeah, the Anti-Monitor, as far as I understand it, is said to be immortal. There's only one time that he was actually killed, and I could be wrong about this, but if I remember correctly, he was only killed one time, and that one time that he was killed, he was basically recreated. He was reborn in his own universe to then just come back and start all over again. So as far as I know, he's never been killed. He has been defeated multiple times by using different tactics. But as far as I know, he cannot be killed. Is that what you're understanding?
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. Yeah. Like I said, he's a universe destroyer. Like he is about as powerful as a being gets within the DC universe without being like, the one above all or the source or something along those lines, right? So this guy is the heaviest of hitters. So whoever's going to go up against this guy, it's going to get interesting.
Just on a quick side note here, Anti-Monitor was created by Marv Wolfman and George Peer. I don't know, and Jerry Orde. The first two, Marv Wolfman and George Peer. This is not the first or the last time you're going to hear those names. They're going to come up again later. And he first appeared actually in Crisis on Infinite Earths #2 in 1985, May 1985. That was how or why he was created, was specifically for this storyline, which kind of broke DC, right? I mean, it was.
Yeah, the DC continuity was all over the fucking place. They had all these different Earths and world, and writers were off doing their own thing. So like, someone was supposed to be here, and it turns out they were there. So the continuity was such a giant mess. They were like, "Fuck this! We're going to condense all of the Earths to one single Earth with one continuity and one history, just to make it easier for people to jump into DC Comics without having to worry about where all these characters are." And it kind of worked. But it did mean that they took, imagine where you're looking at Marvel right now in the MCU with the multiverse, and imagine all of that just fucking disappears, and there's just one place where the core characters are, and that's it. You never see a variant. You never see a different Spider-Man or anything. That's what Crisis did. It tried to make it into one Earth. And this guy, this Anti-Monitor, was the one doing that. He was gobbling up alternate universes so that
sounds awesome.
Yeah. Doesn't it though?
I wish that would happen to our MCU.
Yeah, no shit. Wouldn't that be lovely? Yeah. For all of us tired of the fucking DC was tired of it back in 85, kids. So yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's respin the wheel here. See who the Anti-Monitor is going up against. Can't just talk about this guy for the next 40 minutes.
Nope. killed time while you were doing the thing, which I'm happy.
Doomsday. See, you know, this is where I'm a little where a
You would
lot of
rather
these
have
are.
picked the brackets, yeah.
Yeah, the where the Anti-Monitor is a universe killer. I mean, Doomsday is a mutated, not a mutated, but a genetically mutated Kryptonian, basically, right? So he's Superman on steroids. He's not like a world destroyer in the sense that, yeah, I don't know. Like, this for me was the weak link in these picks, and he goes up against one of the bigger bads,
You
right?
took like the two extremes, which you were trying to
Yeah,
avoid.
which I was trying to avoid. So this is
No,
what
you know what
happens.
though? This is good. This is good because you're basically setting the power line, right? Like we've got probably arguably the most powerful being in there, and now the least powerful being in there. So this kind of gives you guys a sense of where the range is. If you're familiar with these characters, this is the range. Doomsday is not a pushover. Like he literally killed Superman back in the 80s. Like
He
he's
did
you
in
know.
in his literally his first appearance. Well, not his first appearance. He had his first appearance, and then the next time he was in next month's episode or book, killing Superman.
Yep.
So literally, that's how this character got his start, is by breaking Superman's back and
Just beat him to
just-
death.
beat him to fucking a pulp, right? So, he's no slouch. He
Alan
really
talking
isn't.
about it. I remember when that comic made global news. It did.
It did.
Everybody was
It
talking
did.
about the death of Superman at the time. And by the way, in
Yeah.
the same year is when Bane broke the Batman as well. When Nightfall happened, that happened in the same
Correct.
year. Batman's back gets broken and Superman dies.
Is
They were really fucking with their main characters back in that year. So yeah,
that did launch all the different supers, right? Superboy and Man of Steel and
the
I forget who all the
Eradicator and
I forget who they all are, but
Cyborg, Superman and those guys.
there was a bunch of cool stuff that came out of that. But yeah, it was a bit of a weird.
And spoiler alert, Superman lived. So
yeah, I was just saying. Then they bring Superman back as this weird.
Technically, he never died. I have the entire run of comics in the back there, so I mean, technically, he never died. But regardless, now we're really getting into the weeds on that one. But needless to say, Rob, why don't you tell us what ChatGPT has got to say about the Anti-Monitor versus Doomsday? Oh, sorry, you did. Oh, and you did the bio on Doomsday already, right? You said what he was and everything else. Yeah, genetically.
I mean, I kind of did. I mean,
Yeah.
Doomsday basically was created. He was created into a test tube from Kryptonian DNA. He's said to be anywhere between 245 and 300,000 years old, which I don't understand, because in some stories I was under the understanding that they created Doomsday specifically to kill Superman, but
No,
I don't know. I guess that's not correct.
No.
Ancient
ancient Kryptonian weapon, basically. But the thing with Doomsday is his regenerative powers make Wolverine look like a puss. Like he can recover from almost any level of damage as far as that goes. So he just keeps coming back. But again, I'm curious what ChatGPT has to say when these two face off.
You know, this is the problem with using ChatGPT 3.5. If it really doesn't want to take a stance, however,
no. But it should make some good points as to what each of these characters is going to bring to the table, right?
So, you know, if the battle were to focus on pure physical confrontation, Doomsday's adaptability and strength would pose a significant threat. However, the Anti-Monitor's cosmic powers and reality warping abilities could potentially give him the upper hand in a broader sense, which I tend to agree with. You know, ultimately, this is where ChatGPT fails you. Ultimately, without a specific storyline or set of circumstances, it's challenging to definitively determine the outcome. I can tell you the outcome on this one, and I didn't even hear of either of these two before today. Not true. Doomsday, I know that one. This one's going to the Anti-Monitor.
Yeah, in ChatGPT 4, it does say, however, given the Anti-Monitor's cosmic scale, he would have the advantage in such a confrontation. So I think it'd be hard pressed to pick Doomsday winning this in almost any scenario.
Yeah.
Right.
You're right. He would destroy your world, but he'd destroy your world and he'd beat Superman. But like we're talking about planet eaters.
I think Doomsday is probably the
Universe
pinnacle of what would be like an earthbound sort of bad guy, like Superman. But as far as the big cosmic battles go, he's just going to get folded in half, right? So
Yeah, I mean, if running rampage loose on Earth, he would probably destroy civilizations.
Yeah, and he has.
And he has,
Yes.
right? But when you talk about the Anti-Monitor, who will literally like eclipse a universe, in the multiverse, right? I mean, you got to talk. I mean, that's the thing with the Anti-Monitor is you got to think about him at the multiverse level. So I think we're not even in the same boat here. By the way, isn't 7'12" 8 feet? No, that would be 7'13". No, I don't know. Maybe it is.
Yeah, 7'12" is 8 feet. Yeah, 7'12" is the same as saying 8 feet. Yeah.
Congratulations, you found this week's Easter egg. Moving on.
That's right. Good job, Andre. We're going to send you a T-shirt and a hat.
Yeah, I mean that was a bit of a ridiculous one if you ask me. I mean that was again the weakest link versus who
one of
for me is probably one of the top two anyway. So we'll see. Hey, who am I? I'm just the spectator here. I don't make the choices. I don't make the rules. I mean, I kind of do make the rules, but do this again. Who's going to be our next fighter? Oh, Surtur. I mean, I think
Are we going Surtur versus Anti-Monitor, or are we gonna pick two more here?
No, now we're gonna pick two more.
Okay, got it.
You're gonna end up bracketing them down.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Paying attention.
So for those of you guys wondering who Surtur is, if you've seen, in fact, that's a screenshot from Thor Ragnarok. He was the big bad, at the end of the movie where Hela's like, you can't defeat me. And Thor's like, no, but he can. And the giant fucking dude on fire with a huge sword destroys Asgard. That's Surtur. So from myth and legend, the guy that brings about Ragnarok and destroys an entire planet.
Isn't that hanging on your wall behind your head there, Jess?
That's Surtur's skull right there. Knock that tiara off your head. Yeah. So he's a big bad. He's a world.
Oh, that's a crown.
Yeah. My crown.
I thought it was a big eyebrow.
It's a crown.
Yeah. I mean, Surtur. I think everybody that's watched Thor knows who Surtur is. I don't think we got to go into too much details. I mean, I think his story is basically kind of always the same.
Yeah, it's a cycle. It's just a cycle. Ragnarok's a cycle that keeps.
Yeah.
So he's destined to destroy Asgard.
Exactly, and there is no killing Surtur. I think you can only contain the flame.
Right.
Something I think that is important to understand. You can't kill him.
No.
Because he's literally the embodiment of fire. So yeah. Could you destroy the crown though? I don't know.
He's not a fire giant. He is the fire giant.
He is the fire giant.
I would assume if you had the ability to destroy the crown, Thor would have done that when he did knock it off his head and take it back to Asgard. Like if the ability to destroy the crown was a thing, then it would have been destroyed. I understand in the movie it was a plot device to be able to defeat Hela at the end, but still.
For sure.
Oh shit.
Oh boy.
Now
here we
things
go.
are gonna get real.
Here we go. Galactus.
Oh hell.
Yeah.
Now, please don't be confused, guys, by the Galactus that appeared in the Fantastic Four 2, where it was just a giant amorphous cloud. That's not who Galactus is in the comics. That is Galactus. His age is unknown because he was around at the beginning of the universe. Galactus is essentially a celestial, which is among the most powerful beings in the Marvel universe. And Galactus feeds on life energy to be able to sustain his power levels. He gets that life energy by literally eating worlds, entire worlds. And he's as big as, if you've seen Eternals, and I know there's about 4 of you that have, that the giant red multi-eyed Eternal that appears to the people of Earth that's like thousands and thousands of feet tall. He says height 28 feet. He's not 28 feet. He's way fucking bigger than 28 feet.
So I think we need to talk about that for a quick second because you're right. He's a big giant in the sky. His the circle on his forehead is the size of planet Earth.
Yeah.
But when you're reading comics where they're fighting Galactus, he's not the size of a galaxy. He's 28 foot tall and he's a giant in cities, right? I think
Galactus just eat him up or something. He might. I
mean, I don't know.
Galactus is literally a force of not even of nature, but of the universe. Like he's like a universal constant. Like he serves a greater purpose in the overall universe to cull these worlds of life and energy. So it's almost like he's a balancing force within the universe itself. So
who was defeated by Squirrel Girl.
Listen, all right, let's not.
Just saying.
Terrible. Absolutely.
So listen, there's nothing wrong with him being defeated by Squirrel Girl. I think there's one major flaw in Galactus's character, which I guess was implemented to make him interesting, is he doesn't destroy worlds because he enjoys destroying worlds. He's destroying worlds because it's the only way he can survive. Because if he doesn't eat planets, he will die of hunger. And that's basically how she beats him, is by using morality on him. So, yeah, you know,
this is an interesting matchup because you're basically looking at two world destroyers, like two guys that have the power to destroy a planet. Just Surtur only destroys the same planet over and over again, and Galactus destroys any planet he comes across. So
correct.
That's
I think the key is
they're both eternal.
Galactus
both
comes across Asgard, and Surtur is about to blow up Asgard, and he says, "No, Asgard is mine." Who takes that planet?
That's a really good question, man. Galactus has a lot of technology. Surtur's got a giant fucking Twilight sword, so it's almost like
Surtur is a fire demon. Galactus is
an eternal
god,
or not eternal, but a celestial.
Yeah. He's I think, wasn't he a new god? Wasn't he created for the
new god? New gods are DC, and Galactus is Marvel.
Oh, duh, that's right. It wasn't him that was the new god.
I'm almost positive they consider him a celestial. So
yeah,
Rob,
well, he probably is.
Hey, Rob GPT, what does our AI chatbot say about this possible matchup between these two guys?
It says, while Surtur is a formidable opponent, his strength and abilities are often tied to the sword, the Twilight Sword, in the realm of Muspelheim.
Yep. That's where the fire giants live.
Yeah, so he can't really, yeah, that's how it's pronounced officially. He can't leave that realm, and he's tied to the sword. So I think that's his disadvantage. Or maybe his weakness, maybe not his disadvantage. Surtur is a powerful giant, fire giant in Asgardian mythology. He's often associated with the fiery realm. Superhuman strength, durability, and control over mystical fire. I don't know. I think Galactus would take this one.
Yeah, I mean, again,
educate me a bit about Galactus here. So, is he bound by any limitations into his realm the way Surtur is to the fiery realm?
No, like JS said, that the key would be, like, situationally, if you wanted someone to defeat Galactus, you would find Galactus in a remote part of a galaxy where there were no planets sustaining life to consume. The longer he goes without consuming a planet, the weaker he becomes. So if you get him to a point where he's just fed, you're fucked. But if you get him to a point where it's been a while since he's eaten, you would have a realistic shot at him for sure. Yeah. I mean, ChatGPT 4 says, Galactus possesses godlike powers and is nearly invincible. In a battle between Surtur and Galactus, Galactus would have the upper hand due to his cosmic abilities and his ability to tap into the power cosmic. So I think Galactus is going to be a pretty tough out, guys. I'm not going to lie. Like,
Google straight up says Galactus, easily, period.
I think I have to agree with that.
I would also agree. It's kind of
Victoria says, I want Galactus to eat him. I mean, it'd be some spicy dinner, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if he's hungry, I feel like desperation there. I know what I'm like when I'm hangry.
Yeah.
Maybe boys, what's going on? Noah, what's happening, buddy? Beers. Yeah, beers. Is Noah coming to TCC?
I mean, right now he's not
school,
sure,
isn't he? Oh, okay.
Right now he's not 100% sure.
Deadshot versus Bullseye. Yeah, Wayne. When we this is all the big world beaters. When we get down to some of the street level heroes and villains, Deadshot versus Bullseye would definitely be a good one.
Yeah,
no question there.
I mean, they're basically the same well, they're not basically the same character, but they're similar in their powers and anyway,
Yes.
whatever.
Never miss. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Patience.
What time is it right now?
It is 7:35.
7:35. So I mean, all right. This is moving along, and whoop! I just clicked the wheel before sharing it on screen. And there
oh my
we go.
God! Green Lantern versus Ben 10. Green Lantern.
Trigon.
Woo! Those of you familiar with
this
the
one
Teen
here.
Titans, you should know who Trigon is.
This one is a little bit of a wild card for me. I know who Trigon is. And Trigon is a demon. Who typically, for every storyline that I've seen with Trigon, always ends up with him backing off because of Raven. So in a fight with anybody else, I don't know how he backs off and how you stop him. I don't know there is any stopping him. Is there?
So he's specifically weak to or vulnerable to powerful magical forces and beings, which is why he probably shies away from Raven all the time.
Specifically Azeroth magic, which is what Raven practices. Or Azeroth magic, sorry.
Well, he's her dad, right?
He's her dad. So he's susceptible to her, but yeah. Again,
he's another guy with like reality manipulations.
Yeah.
Like ridiculous
mind
levels of strength,
manipulation.
And magic. Magic is always like, whenever we do these, magic is always like sort of like the wild card element of it. Because there's so many different things you can do with magic that you can't just be like being powerful and such, right? So
is he tied to a realm the way Surtur
is? Yeah, kind of like he's always
I almost
depicted.
consider that like
I think the jewel on Raven's forehead is what he's contained in.
I know he's typically trying to get into the our universe and our world, usually through corruptive magics and everything else. But yeah, he is typically tied to the realm wherever the demons exist. He's just the lord of the demons in that particular realm. So
sounds like a them problem.
Yeah.
All right. Who's he going up against?
As far as age here, 13.7 billion years old. Okay, sure.
Well, that's the age of the universe. So yep.
Yeah. And then height and weight. I mean, I couldn't find any information anywhere. I mean, he could be whatever he could look, however he wants to look.
Those are some Victoria keeping us honest here. Those are some tiggle bitties. Yep. I mean, bro's got some pecs. Gains, baby, gains.
Exactly. All right, let's bring the wheel back. Who's he going up against? Hey, we only have 3 left on the wheel here. Oh, here we go.
Thanos.
Here we go. And this is why I have a contingency plan in place. Because I think everybody knows that there is a very...
Do I really have to explain Thanos to you guys? I'm pretty sure everybody knows who Thanos is.
There's a very, very, very big question when it comes to Thanos and him being in a fight. Because we've always said that the pretense of UFC is one character bumps into the other character unprepared, who wins that fight. But with Thanos, that really depends on when they meet. Because if he has the Infinity Gauntlet, I don't think it matters who he's fighting against.
No, it super doesn't. I guess the problem with Thanos is, and I know that the Marvel movies kind of like ruin this, but like in the comics, Thanos had the Infinity Gauntlet for one series. In his 50 years in comics, he had the Infinity Gauntlet for one comic series. He never had it beforehand, and he never had it after. Thanos is a lot like Doctor Doom, where he gets really big into sorcery and technology. That's what makes Thanos so powerful. So to say that he would have the gauntlet on him would be like a 0.1% chance just bumping into him at a random time, because he held it for such a brief amount of time in the character's overall history, right? That doesn't necessarily mean when he had all this.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I would say this, though, if we're talking about world destroyers, Thanos, well, I guess no. I guess he destroyed many worlds along the path of trying to find all the stones, I suppose.
Just half of them.
but half of the universe was destroyed because of the gauntlet, right? So,
And the funny part about this is too, and again, with that's because of the MCU, they couldn't make it like in the comics when he gets the gauntlet. He's not just like trying to wipe out half the universe. He is trying to do that to please death, but he literally becomes the most powerful being that's ever existed within Marvel Comics. He became a god among gods. In fact, all of the cosmic gods and entities came to stop him, and he just like wiped them all out with a thought. Like he became the ultimate Deus Machina. Like, and it really got powered down a lot in the movie universe. In the comics, he was. In the end, actually, the heroes didn't even defeat Thanos. In the end, Thanos defeated himself because that was the only way they could resolve.
Not in the comics.
In the comics, yeah, he absolutely did defeat himself.
Well,
he left the gauntlet down. Nebula picked it up. There's even a huge
fair enough.
There's a huge panel that literally says Thanos ultimately defeats himself every time he gets the upper hand.
Nebula was instrumental in defeating Thanos.
Yes, correct. But the comic even makes I have the comic. It makes a point of saying that every time he gets to a point where he finally has the ultimate advantage, he ends up defeating himself because he's a nihilist, and that's just where he gets to be. So at the end of the day, I think that would actually play a factor in this fight too.
I mean, that's not a bad point. That's not a bad point, considering I'm not sure how you really defeat Trigon unless you have Raven on your side or magic. To be honest, right? If you have magic on your side, you may be able to do something, but without that, and if Thanos does not have the gauntlet, I don't see how he makes it. If he does, if by some coincidence Surtur shows up in the middle of Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity War, who knows? Who knows? So, what does the AI say there, buddy?
Well, it says Thanos is a powerful character in the Marvel Universe, often depicted as a formidable cosmic villain. He possesses superhuman strength, durability, and intelligence, and is particularly known for his quest for power and the pursuit of the Infinity Stones. Trigon, on the other hand, is a demonic entity. It is primarily associated with Teen Titans. Trigon is an immensely powerful demon lord with reality warping abilities, magical powers, and vast cosmic influence. So I think what he's saying there is that, like we started with this in the beginning, these two run into each other in a dark alley. Thanos doesn't have the gauntlet on him. He's toast.
Yeah, he gets folded for sure. It's gonna be one of those like
it would be how
Black Bolt here can defeat you with a word from his mouth, and she's like, "What mouth?" Like that's kind of I feel like that's how that fight would go. Like Trigon would.
It would be like Thanos and Hulk in beginning of Infinity War.
Right. Is that even Hulk? They depowered.
It's so disappointing. That was so disappointing. They just ruined him.
Yeah.
All right. So we're calling Surtur here? Is that what we're or Trigon here? Is that what we're saying?
It's gonna make a lot of people.
I mean,
mad,
for me,
yeah.
In this fight, if we're agreeing he does not have the Infinity Gauntlet, for me, Trigon takes it. It I don't see how Thanos takes it.
If he's got the gauntlet, I mean, you can just name him the winner now because that literally gave him, mastery over all time and space, and reality and all that jazz. So we assume he doesn't have it, then. So yeah, there's a caveat. So I don't know. Maybe you can put a little asterisk there. Like we could almost have had two characters for Thanos, like Gauntlet Thanos and non-Gauntlet Thanos.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because it's two vastly different power levels for those two characters. Thanos is powerful, but obviously not on the same level as some of these other guys if he doesn't have the gauntlet with him. So
like Thanos without the gauntlet can beat the Hulk. Thanos with the gauntlet can destroy half the universe. Right.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Yes. And that's movie, by the way, too. I think if the Hulk met Thanos in a dark alley and he doesn't have the gauntlet, that's going to be a much more interesting fight than it turned out to be in the movie. That's for sure. It's not such an easy
fight everyone was hoping for.
Yeah, exactly. If it was that Ed Norton Hulk, man, he would have folded Thanos in half.
Yeah.
That Ed Norton
Hulk. The whole thing would have ended right there.
I love the Ed Norton Hulk. It looked just so angry and ripped and pissed off all the time. Like how you want Hulk to look, not just like a big sulky green guy, but like a guy that's actually filled with rage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do miss that particular Hulk, but I had to make him more friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, sorry, we're going off on a tangent.
Yeah.
That's quite all right. We're gonna call this one for Trigon.
Yeah, I think Trigon wins that fight for sure.
Hey, listen, that leaves only 2 characters on the wheel. I mean, I don't even know if it makes sense to spin the wheel, but might as well spin the wheel to
sure.
see who we're going to introduce first. And apparently we're introducing Darkseid first. Guys, Darkseid and Brainiac, really both big DC characters.
Darkseid.
Both very, very much involved in Superman storylines. Although I feel like, well, let's talk about Darkseid first. Let me bring him up here. How about you tell us a little bit about who Darkseid is? There he is right there.
He was originally brought up in a pocket universe. The New Gods were created by Jack Kirby, who came over from Marvel Comics, who was their biggest creator at the time. And the New Gods were never meant to interact with the rest of the DC continuity. They were meant to have their own continuity. Darkseid was god and ruler of the evil world Apocalypse, and he had a counterpart named Highfather, who was like the good one. But they were literal gods, and they called themselves the New Gods, as opposed to the older gods like your Odins and your Hercules and all those kind of guys. So and Thanos has been the big bad throughout DC. Once they did bring him into the main continuity, he's been the big bad so many different times. You could make the argument with Darkseid as well that you made with Thanos. Darkseid with the anti-life equation is pretty much completely unstoppable. Without it, he can be beaten. He has been beaten on multiple occasions. So it really comes down to kind of where you want to put his power levels at. But he's a tough out regardless. Like, he's literally,
which is interesting.
Go ahead.
Just want to inject here. ChatGPT said that that's actually a weakness. Obsession with the anti-life equation can distract from strategic decision making. So
100%.
Yeah,
100%. Because he is a brilliant strategist when he's focused on whatever his particular goal is. But if he gets a whiff of that anti-life equation, he's like, anti-life equation, by the way, would give would give Darkseid basically dominion over the entire universe. He would be able to manipulate the will of every living being in the universe. The anti-life equation. So
that sounds fun.
Yeah, that's why
the anti-life equation can also control his will, which is one thing he is very afraid of, and is willing, I think, at times to lose the anti-life equation rather than let it fall into somebody else's hands. Because that would stop him in his tracks pretty quick as well. And then finally, guys, there's only one left. Just for shits and giggles. Bring him up.
Spin the wheel. Who could it possibly be?
Who could it possibly be? Oh, I wonder. Oh, yeah. It's Brainiac. That's right. Brainiac, also a major DC villain. I feel mostly a Superman villain.
He's definitely
with the whole Kandor storyline. For those who don't know, Brainiac, again, is a world destroyer going from world to world. Sorry, he's an AI. He's an AI that goes from world to world and destroys the world, sucks it of all its resources, and then will keep a souvenir, usually in the form of a city that he miniaturizes and puts in a bottle. I don't have mine here, but in a little like snow globe type thing, you'll put a city in there, mainly the city of Kandor, which was not... Was Kandor on Krypton? Kandor wasn't on Krypton. Kandor was a separate planet.
They've messed with it. They've messed with it.
I forget.
At first,
now.
It was like a piece of Krypton that broke off after it destroyed, and then it was a moon of Krypton. Like there was a whole different. Yeah. Regardless,
either way,
it was a Krypton city that he kept. The key to Brainiac 2, by the way, guys, is that as he's going through these worlds, he's absorbing all the, not just the resources, but the knowledge. So he is like the ultimate fucking AI. Like this dude has the knowledge of thousands and thousands of worlds stored in his databanks. So he's a very, very, he's power. If knowledge is power, then it doesn't get much more powerful than Brainiac. That's for sure.
It's kind of DC's version of the Borg.
Yeah, a little bit.
Again, Brainiac has been defeated on multiple occasions. Actually, there are a number of Brainiacs. For those that don't know, there's been, I want to say up to 13 now. I think Brainiac 5 being the good one that was in the League of Superheroes.
Legion of Superheroes, yeah.
Or the Legion of Superheroes. I think that was Brainiac 5. I think that was. That one was a good Brainiac. Usually a bad Brainiac. But he has been defeated multiple times. But again, another very, very big heavy hitter, world destroyer. I guess the question is, who takes this one?
I would say Darkseid personally, but I mean, I'm a big Darkseid guy, so that might be where I'm kind of coming from.
Brainiac comes up to Apocalypse and starts taking it
trying to
apart.
assimilate it. Yeah.
You think Darkseid beats him?
I think
Does Darkseid one-shot him with his Omega Beam and that's it? His giant spaceship's gone, or
I think Darkseid throws parademons at him to weaken him, and multiple parademons at him. Calls Granny Goodness, gets her Furies involved. Like, Darkseid is not just Darkseid. Darkseid has an entire planet at his disposal that he rules with an iron fist. So, yeah, look at Midlife, eh? Yeah, Richard. Whoa, Brainiac would be an awesome cosplay, wouldn't it? Though.
Yeah.
As soon as you said Borg, like, he got Richard's mind thinking, like,
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've done that before. I can fucking totally do that.
yeah, no, totally. And you have the perfect look for it too. Like, that's Brainiac would be amazing. Especially if you're able to incorporate like lights. Brainiac has a lot of like light up things all over him, which makes him look wicked.
The dollar store comes into it. What do you think, JS? Before we
I mean, I think you're right. Darkseid, Brainiac is very strong, and he's been a thorn in the Justice Leagues, but not like Darkseid. Of course, it doesn't matter if you're talking Brainiac. It doesn't matter if you're talking Darkseid. It feels like when Superman shows up,
everybody at the pool,
that guy goes down. I feel like every storyline where Darkseid shows up, there's always a way to take Superman out of the equation, right? Whether it's the Joker killing Lois, whether it's there's a bunch of different versions of the Darkseid story that Superman becomes evil and Superman basically destroys the planet for him, basically. But Brainiac, I don't know. What does the AI say? I think Darkseid, but what does the AI say?
Okay, so what the AI sees as the strengths of these two characters, Brainiac is a formidable opponent due to advanced weaponry and strategic planning, but he may lack the raw power of some of the other cosmic entities. But it thinks a little bit higher of Darkseid. 2 points. 1, possesses the Omega effect, a reality warping energy with vast destructive power. And 2, I think you mentioned this, JS, he's a ruler of Apocalypse. He commands vast armies and advanced technology, enhancing his overall influence. When I asked ChatGPT to rank all these characters, it placed Brainiac at number 8 out of 8 and Darkseid at number 2.
Yeah, so, I mean,
the AI calls it Darkseid.
Victoria has a great point here. She says, if they met on the street, could Brainiac do anything against the Omega Beam? Probably not.
No, especially since he's an artificial life form. I think he absolutely dies to the Omega Beams for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's not just an artificial life form. All of the I guess that's what that means, but he's not just like an AI consciousness. That there's the whole android side of him, and if that dies, then he dies, right?
Yeah.
Or at least he's defeated. It doesn't mean he's dead, but
yeah.
So
he can be defeated by disrupting or infiltrating his highly advanced technological system. So you are right.
All righty. There you go. Boom. Well, that has now officially set our top 4 with the Anti-Monitor, Galactus, Trigon, and Darkseid. Whew. With our 2 big hitters facing off next, the Anti-Monitor and Galactus. Now,
I wish this would almost have been the last one because
I kind of do how it worked out, but the Anti-Monitor versus Galactus. I think we've been pretty clear about the powers of both and all that stuff. I think that Anti-Monitor, because of how he operates and how he basically bends universes and can like just make things disappear, right? He just this doesn't exist anymore, right? Like boom, you're done, right? Like on this list of right now without any not celestials, but what's the celestial version of in the DC universe again?
New gods?
The new gods. Without a new god there, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, the Anti-Monitor is a tough out. As soon as I suggested it to you, I'm like, yeah, I mean, he's been defeated. He was really only in the one major conflict, and he did lose,
Correct.
but there was a whole set of circumstances. It's not like the heroes just punched him and he lost. There was a whole thing. There was a whole thing that they had to do to get him to finally lose, and it involved technology, it involved resonance frequencies, it involved a whole bunch of stuff. So I think just on a chance encounter between Galactus, even though Galactus is eternal and a force of the universe, and the Anti-Monitor, it's probably going to be the Anti-Monitor. If Galactus is just fed, it definitely makes that conversation a lot more interesting. But again, the Galactus was introduced in the Fantastic Four. He can't beat a stretchy guy, an invisible girl, a guy that is on fire, and a dude that's made of bricks. Like, I mean, it's one of those, like, and it took an entire universe to defeat the Anti-Monitor. So I think you got to give it to the Anti-Monitor personally. What does Rob GPT say?
Rob GPT agrees with you that this one's going to the Anti-Monitor because he has been portrayed as a multiverse level threat capable of consuming entire realities. It's pretty hard to beat that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little OP, not gonna lie.
Bit.
That's that guy was gonna be a tough out right from the start. So
he's only got one weakness.
Guys, blame it on Jeff here. He's the one that suggested the Anti-Monitor.
I suggested the Anti-Monitor. I know.
Another one.
Sorry, what's the weakness, Rob?
Vulnerable to powerful beings with a connection to the positive matter universe. And as far as I know, nobody else on this list has a connection to that universe.
Yeah, these universes, man. Sorry, man. Sorry for introducing this guy. We were trying to find all the big heavy hitters, and this is pretty much the heaviest of the hitters. So
yeah,
let's see. He's a tough out.
Wow. Next leaves us with Trigon versus Darkseid.
Oh, I wonder if they've ever fought. Same with Darkseid and Brainiac. I'm like, I wonder if there's actually an example of them actually fighting, but probably not. I mean, they are in the same universe.
Let's see. Justice League Dark Apocalypse. Yeah. That's how they hold back. I remember now. That's how they hold back Darkseid while trying to save everybody else.
Oh, right.
Is they release what's his
Trigon.
name? The magician guy.
Yes. Constantine.
Constantine releases Trigon. Raven's like, are you sure this is what you want to do? He's like, trust me, I got a plan. And then he releases Trigon, and Trigon's like, let me have that. And then Trigon actually teleports Darkseid to basically hell. So, and then, yeah, that's how they get rid of Darkseid. So, I'd like to say, considering it's actually happened, and Trigon took that one, I'm going to pick Trigon in this one.
Yeah.
Plus, what are the Omega Beams going to do against a demon that bends reality? Like, what are you even shooting at? Like, do you know what I mean?
No. I agree. Yeah, and a chance random encounter between the two of them. I think you're probably right. I think it's probably Trigon.
Mm-hmm. Rob, what do you think?
Well, ChatGPT's what ChatGPT thinks about this. When I asked it to rank them all, who it thinks would beat who, Darkseid has it over Trigon. But based on what you're telling me, I sort of agree with you two. But according to now, keeping in mind, I mean, this is only trained up to 2022, so I don't know when that storyline came out that you're talking about, but
it happened in the animated universe, so it's I don't know if that would necessarily be considered canon or whatever, but
well, no, fair enough. It was in the last movie. I think no, it wasn't the last movie in the War series. It was the second to last movie in the Justice League War series of movies. So not that long ago.
Mm.
Like in
Well,
the last 10 years, maybe.
It thinks Trigon's weaknesses is vulnerable to powerful magical forces and beings, which we already know. So would the Omega effect be a powerful magical force?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, we are going to override ChatGPT here because the AI is not always right, despite what they want you to believe. I think we're going to go with Trigon on this one.
I mean, we almost have to. Let's see what mine here says when I ask it. It says here, in direct confrontation, it's conceivable that either character could emerge victorious based on the creative direction of the writers.
Yeah,
Exactly,
they're
yeah.
similarly
Right? The cosmic
powered.
and mystical natures of both characters add an element of unpredictability. You know what? I think
like there's
Trigon
another
takes
one.
it.
I'm going to agree with you guys because you seem to know what you're talking about here. But is Trigon not another one that's bound to like a dimension?
Yeah, and I think that's
Kind
the
of.
key. Is if like what happened in the animated, if he had the ability to pull Darkseid into that dimension, he's going to fold Darkseid like a cheap shirt. If he
Mhm.
has to fight Darkseid on Darkseid's turf, then Darkseid's probably going to win that fight. It's going to take everything he has, but he's probably going to win that fight. So it kind of depends on where the fight's taking place.
Yeah.
And whether Trigon can manipulate him into his realm as opposed to having to fight on Darkseid's territory. So, but we've kind of
saying it's canon that Trigon has already beaten Darkseid
in a singular fight that they had in a
Mhm.
in a cartoon, basically.
Mhm.
So yeah. So I think that lends credence to having Trigon win.
I feel like with Trigon's reality bending powers, again, if they bump into each other, what are you even fighting, right? He can make you see whatever he wants you to see. So yeah, I don't know. Which I think for me, if we're saying Trigon, that makes for a very interesting matchup at the end because the Anti-Monitor, a being that can basically destroy universes, is fighting off against Trigon, a being that can make your universe look like whatever he fucking wants it to look like. What do we do there? Who's victorious in that? How can the Anti-Monitor destroy Trigon again when Trigon can just make the Anti-Monitor think that he's back in his own universe all of a sudden?
Yeah,
Very
no,
good question.
no,
Very
I
good
agree with
question.
you. Yeah. I mean, this is a little elementary because we already know who's going to win the next fight, but still, I do think it's probably Trigon 7 times out of 10.
You mean so you're talking about versus
fight?
Darkseid?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so too. 100%.
Yeah.
But if you apply that same thing now our final bout, the Anti-Monitor versus Trigon, does the same rule apply?
No.
Can Trigon make the Anti-Monitor see whatever he wants to see?
I don't think it would matter.
No, you don't think so?
I don't think so. No. Again, sure, all these illusions are great. Let me just take your universe and fold it in half. Thanks. You're all done now. Oh, that demonic realm that you thought you had, I just ate it.
That's
It
gone.
was delicious.
Yeah.
Anybody got any Tums? This is gonna be a little heartburn. It was a little smoky, that was a little spicy. You know what I'm saying? Like
Not the spiciest Surtur, I'm sure, but
yeah, I think as far as that
Habanero.
goes, I think Trigon would be hard pressed to, even with all the magic and everything else that he could bring to bear. I think he'd be hard pressed to beat the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is what you're saying. That when I told you, okay, we're doing this list of characters, and you said let's add the Anti-Monitor in there.
Yeah.
You were basically stacking the deck, is what you were
I was
saying.
not. You wanted all the heavy hitters. You had a couple of guys on the list that were just going to get, like, they were even less power than Doomsday. And I'm like, they're not going to. Yeah. I thought I'd just throw some names out. I did mention a couple of other people that you didn't choose. This is one of the ones that you put on the list. So here we are. Sorry,
guys. He cheated.
I did not cheat.
He cheated.
I swear to you.
He set this up.
I swear to you, I did not.
He set this up. Guys, champion UCF number 2. the anti-monitor. That's right. To be honest, I was kind of hoping that Galactus was going to come out on top of this one, but I don't see how. I just don't.
Yeah, that would have been the better fight, I think, but
Yeah.
rigged. Hashtag Jeff wins. Guys, I was just trying to help round out the list with the most powerful bad guys in each universe. That's all we were trying to kind of go for. They had to be bad guys too. Like there were obviously, we didn't mention the Beyonder, which would have been a good one to invoke from Marvel. Like there were other powerful beings we could have gotten in here, but ultimately all these they're all villains. So they've ultimately all been defeated at some point or another. So it's not like they're nigh omnipotent. Just in the bad guy face off, it's probably going to be the Anti-Monitor that's going to win most of those fights.
Correct.
So
that's correct. And
he
guys,
definitely beats Sky Guy.
We are going to keep doing these, guys, just so you know. I know we said this last time, and it took like almost a year before we did another one. I want to bring back the UCF, regularly. So hopefully every month and a half to 2 months, we'll have a UCF episode.
Because Marvel always beats DC. Not in this case.
Well, yeah. I mean, DC kind of won this one, but it ended up being DC versus DC at the end anyway.
Who was the who won the last round? UFC 1.
UCF 1 was Voldemort, wasn't it?
I think so.
All right.
I think it was Voldemort.
Just a mix of different characters, and again, I think,
like,
and you had so many
face-offs,
yeah, there was a ton, and they were just random matchups, right?
So we can't exactly.
I like the idea moving forward of us kind of picking the matchups, like picking the brackets moving forward. I think that's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah,
that way we can make sure that it's going to be better when it kind of comes time. But
and we can even have tournaments, right? We can have a villains tournament or a magical beings tournament, or where every time we do a UFC, we have one of those fights is for that tournament, right? And we tally it up at the end of the year. I don't know. We're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna try some different stuff. So make sure you keep watching, because I think I have fun doing these. So I hope you guys like it. You were gonna say something, Rob.
I was gonna say, when it comes down to these like two characters, and we say, well, it depends on this, depends on that. That's when we roll a dice for the
100%. So I had the dice ready to go. I think the idea was specifically for our buddy Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. The idea with the dice is we roll a dice to see, does he have the Infinity Gauntlet or not?
Yeah, get a D20 for that one. If you roll a natural 20, he's got the gauntlet.
Yeah, we'll bring in some dice for future rounds of this to maybe make it a little more interesting. Yeah. Especially if we pick the fights, we got to incorporate something like that.
For sure. Guys, let us know what you thought. Make sure you leave us a comment. Actually, even if you're watching this now live with us and you're commenting in the chat after the fact, go leave us a comment. It helps the algorithm propagate the episode through the YouTube sphere. The algorithm loves comments. It also loves likes. There was a bunch of you in here earlier. I hope I see a bunch of likes here. I really, really appreciate it. Again, it really helps us out. We love that you guys watch us till the end. It's so much fun that so many of you guys watch the whole episode. You make this show.
Hey, speaking, by the way, of likes and comments, for anybody that's been checking out the Zentai suit tutorial that we put up there the other day, it's got a bunch of likes and comments. So, guys, thank you so much for checking that out. We're going to be doing more of the cosplay PSAs. So if there's specific PSAs you'd like to see one of us do, throw it in the comments of that video or shoot one of us a message or whatever, and we'll do our best to address whatever cosplay questions you have and do a briefer PSA. That one's, I think, about 11 minutes. We're going to try to keep them under 10 minutes so we can keep your guys' attention for longer, but that's just the beginning of what we'd like to see bringing to you guys, some informational stuff, some tutorial stuff for cosplay stuff. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, thanks everybody that's commented. So many nice comments and shares and likes on that video too. So
if you haven't seen the episode or the video, go watch it. Fantastic information in there. Jeff did a great job.
One simple little thing that I didn't even think about before was the zipper. I think I forget what you call it.
The U zipper.
The U zipper.
Yeah.
Yes. Now I need to like find a new Xenomorph suit.
Oh my god!
Not a
Xenomorph,
so
convenient.
Predator suit with a U zipper.
Yeah. Because it's always like, can you help me?
Oh, the goddamn worst. Back zippers. Yeah, a good friend of mine introduced me to the U zipper, and I'm like, this is what's up, man. This is genius. It's so much better. And dance belt. Yes, Bob. Dance belt. Very, very important. If you forget
Yeah.
everything else I told you in that video, remember your dance belt, gentlemen.
I'm just freeballing it.
But being able to get in and out of your suit on your own is clutch.
Oh, it's key.
Right?
Yeah, it's key.
That's one of the big parts of these stupid predators is we can't get in and out of them on our own, right?
Yeah.
We need a freaking crew basically to help us out. Like it's too much. That's something we got to think about when
Which
we're
reminds
designing
me,
our next one.
Excited Jamie's coming along.
Yeah. By the way, guys, yeah. So if you weren't at the beginning of the show when you did not hear, we are getting a booth at Comic-Con. We will be there. We will be on the main floor. We do have our theme days on our Instagram. Go check it out. We will be having meetups, although unfortunately we won't have a photographer. At least we don't right now. There's somebody watching that is a photographer that would like to run a couple meetups every day. That'd be fantastic. We would love the help. Wink, wink to any possible photographers in the attendance listening right now. I'm just saying.
Slide into the DMs.
Slide into our DMs, and we'll see what we can do.
We can't pay you with money, but we can pay you with love.
Mustache.
And appreciation.
Rob, did you say mustache rides?
I didn't say rides. I said tickles.
Oh, tickles. Way more wholesome.
That's regular show versus
Right, of
After Dark.
course.
Oh, okay. I think that this is where the After Dark show starts.
Yeah, exactly. This is the OnlyFans content right here.
Thanks everybody for watching. We love you guys. Make sure you stay geeky. We'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Geek Geek Podcast. Like always, if you prefer to listen to us, you can find us on all major podcast platforms. Now, make sure you don't forget to click that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell to make sure you never miss an